This is the iFi Go Bar Kensei, and it's a portable DAC amp that you can take with you. So whether you're sitting at home on the couch or you're on the go, you can make sure to get the absolute best audio for your headphones. So let me go ahead and open it up and I'll tell you more about it. So as you open up the retail box, you can see this very nice wooden case for your Go Bar Kensei. And this is a nice feature that iFi has added. I haven't seen this on any other iFi product, so it's a really nice plus that you get this storage box. It looks really nicely designed, and you can easily open up the top cover by inserting your finger here and then pulling back. And there we have the iFi Go Bar Kensei. I'm gonna go ahead and put this aside for now and we'll come back to it. But let's take a look at what else is inside. So inside you'll find this quick start guide, and here is the back of it. If you open up this inner box, you see a nice carrying pouch for your iFi Go Bar Kensei. And it does include a USB-C to Lightning cable. For those of you who have the older iPhone, you'll be able to use this cable. And then you have your standard USB-C to USB-C cable that can be used for iPhone 15 and up, as well as Android phones. Finally, you get a USB-C to USB-A adapter in case you need to hook it up to your laptop or anything else with a USB-A port. This little carrying pouch is quite nice. Here's a look at the inside of it. And it does have this nice magnetic clasp that allows you to close it easily. And in the back, it has a nice belt loop. And so finally here we have the Go Bar Kensei. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank iFi Audio for sending this out for my review so that I can show you guys this product. So the Kensei differs from the original Go Bar in that it uses Japanese audio processing technology named K2HD. And it also has a much improved power supply. The K2HD technology makes the music sound more natural and less flat, which I think is something that most users would benefit from. And I wanted to turn this over on the back side to show you guys a nice silver metal finish on this, which I like much better than the original Go Bar. Especially the fact that it was very hard to see the lettering on the original. It was hard to see pretty much everything you see here, which tells you whether you're playing DSD audio, as well as the different bit rates that your audio is playing at, and whether you're using XSpace and XSpace and so on. So the silver finish has much better readability for the lettering as compared to the original Go Bar, which is definitely a plus. Looking at the side of the Kensei, you see the different buttons here. The first one on the right, the button all the way on the right allows you to control Xbass, XSpace, K2HD, and the 4 different digital filters. And then you have the volume up button as well as the volume down. And then all the way on the left, you have options for turning on IEMatch, and you can set it either to off, the 4.4mm balanced connection, or the 3.5mm unbalanced connection. And the Go Bar Kensei comes with all the bells and whistles. It allows you to choose from 4 digital filters, Bit Perfect, which is ideal for most music genres, and has natural tones. The GTO filter, which enhances sound details and is great for vocals. The minimum phase filter, which gives you a warmer sound, is ideal for jazz music. And the standard filter, which offers a tighter sound with rolled off highs, which works well for pop music. And as far as connectivity, you have a wired USB-C connection. This does not have any Bluetooth capability, so just keep that in mind. And for connecting up your IEMs and headphones, you have a 3.5mm connection that uses iFi's S-Balance technology, which reduces crosstalk. And then you have your 4.4mm balanced connection. And as far as power output, it can do a maximum of 477 milliwatts using that 4.4mm balanced connection. If you need to add some bass to your headphones, you can easily do so with the XSpace feature. If you want to give your headphones some extra headroom in terms of soundstage, you can do so with the XSpace feature. This little portable DAC amp supports playback of everything from PCM, MQA, and even DSD music. The Kensei also includes IEMatch. If you happen to have high sensitivity IEMs, this will get rid of the noise floor when enabled. And I've been coming into more and more of that problem as I get more into IEMs. A lot of the IEMs do have a noise floor, which is really annoying. And unless you have something like IEMatch to get rid of that noise floor and actually listen to your music without that background noise, then it's not very nice to listen to. But with IEMatch, that solves the problem. So it's very nice that it's included with this product. If you have power hungry headphones, you can switch on turbo mode, which will give you just a little bit extra amplification needed to drive most headphones. Alright, and now let's talk about the sound quality of the iFi Go Bar Kensei. And so for the sound quality portion of this review, it really depends on which digital filter you have selected and whether you have K2HD turned on or off, as well as features like Xbass and XSpace. So I will cover things like tonality, bass, mid-range, treble, soundstage, and imaging in those sections where I talk about the different digital filters that are available with the iFi Go Bar Kensei. So first, let's talk about the Xbass feature. On the Kensei, it's well done. It adds a good amount of bass without totally making the music sound different. It does a good job of making the tonality of the music sound a bit warmer. I found that the Kensei does an excellent job of adding bass to the sub-bass region while adding a tad bit to the mid-bass region. If you have headphones that are lacking the bass region, especially in the sub-bass, this may be a good option for you. Now let's talk about the other feature, which is XSpace, and it's supposed to produce a holographic sound field to open up your music to give you the spaciousness of a live concert. I really thought this would give you a wider soundstage, but it doesn't actually do that. Instead, it adds to the vertical soundstage, producing more of a 3D sound, making things sound much grander. I think this is a useful feature if you feel your music sounds a bit flat and you want to give your music more of a 3D sound. This is one of those settings that you'll either love or hate depending on your specific taste. Now you can also have XBass plus XSpace combined turned on, and this is going to give you a warmer, more spacious sound that delivers on the low end while expanding the vertical height of the soundstage. It's definitely worth a try if you feel that your music sounds a bit flat. It's not for everyone, but some people may enjoy it. Now let's talk about one of the more unique features that you don't see in other DAC dongles, and that's the K2HD feature. According to iFi, K2HD achieves high sound quality by restoring altered or degraded digital sound sources to the same quality as the original master. I would say that I definitely preferred to have the K2HD setting on, as it enhanced the music with a layer of richness that I wasn't hearing with it off. String instruments such as guitars sounded much better with K2HD on and less flat. I also felt like the treble was enhanced. It was much easier to hear smaller details in the music. The music sounded more lively, as if you were listening at a live concert. I also heard improvements in the bass region, as it delivered more bass impact as compared to when the setting was off. Overall, I felt like it just made the music sound better. Now let's get into the 4 digital filters that are available on the Kensei. And each one of these different filters brings pros and cons to the sound music quality, so I'll go over those in detail. First, let's talk about the Bit Perfect digital filter. And this had the most natural sounding tonality and worked well for most genres of music. The sound signature leaned more on the warmer side compared to some of the other digital filters. Now let's talk about the GTO filter. It had a brighter sounding tonality, and the upsampling helped with bringing out a lot of those small details in the music. Even though this filter had a brighter sound signature, it never once sounded sibilant. I would say that this filter produced the best imaging when it came to the music. This is definitely the digital filter to pick if you are an audiophile who likes to hear those small details in the music. Then there's the minimum phase filter, which produced the warmest sound signature. And I would say this is a good filter to pair with any headphones or IEMs that might sound too bright. I would say that this filter is on the opposite side of the GTO filter that has that brighter sound signature and more detail in the sound. The minimum phase digital filter is good if you want to enjoy and feel your music instead of trying to listen to those small details. And finally, we have the standard digital filter, which provided tighter, more well-defined and controlled highs. This provided a smoother listening experience that was less fatiguing, but did sacrifice pulling out some of those fine details in the music. Overall, it was great having these 4 digital filters available on the Kensei, because it was like having 4 different portable DACs available at my fingertips. As for my personal preference on the digital filters, I went back and forth between the Bit Perfect filter that had the most natural sounding tonality and the GTO filter that upsampled the music and provided a slightly brighter, more detailed sound for when I wanted to listen to those tiny details in the music. Now I want to talk about the 4.4mm bounce connection on the iFi Go Bar Kensei, in case you guys are interested in using that connection with this DAC. I did quite a bit of A/B testing with using the 3.5mm connector, which is unbalanced, and the 4.4mm, which is balanced, and it did provide a bit more audio gain on the balanced 4.4, which helped power my harder to drive headphones, such as my 250 ohm and 300 ohm headphones. After going back and forth between 3.5mm and a 4.4mm balance connector at the same volume level to see if I could hear any sonic difference, I was definitely able to hear an improvement in the sound when it came to how much clearer vocals sounded on the 4.4mm balance connection, and how things like soundstage and imaging were also improved. So if you do have an option of using the 4.4mm balance connection on the Kensei, definitely go for it. So how did the Kensei do with handling different IEMs and headphones that are harder to drive? Well, if you do combine using the 4.4mm connector with enabling turbo mode on the Kensei, that will give you plenty of headroom to listen to almost any balanced headphone. The turbo mode really came in clutch with helping to get that little bit of extra volume needed with those harder to drive headphones. So to sum things up with the iFi Go Bar Kensei, it is on the expensive side. Other DACs can't really compete with it because of its versatility and features available on it. It really is like carrying 5 dongle DACs with you with that extra K2HC feature, because each of the filters and the K2HC mode and XBass as well as XSpace can really change up the sound to get you dialed in to make your IEM or headphones sound the way that you want it, which is the most important part. Now, if you compare this with other DACs such as the Questyle M15i, you're kind of stuck with how this particular DAC sounds. There is no selecting a different digital filter or enabling features like Xbass to give you more bass if you needed it. So that's where the Kensei really excels at adjusting its sound to fit almost any headphone or IEM. If you have a headphone that lacks in the bass department, turn on Xbass. And they instantly give your headphones that additional needed bass without it sounding artificial. So if you're someone who is looking for the best sounding and most versatile DAC dongle, then this is the one to get. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.